Canva to create professional designs in less time. Let's get started. My agenda for you is to give you a little bit of where Canva came from, the origins, uses of Canva. I'll show examples and hopefully give you a chance to even practice using Canva yourself. The origins. I'm going to play this just so you have a little visual candy to go along. This guy did a nice summary of brand origins. This gal, Melanie Perkins, she taught design part-time at the University of Western Australia. And in 2012, she created a startup company to disrupt those larger companies who corner the design market. So think of your Adobes and your Microsofts, the big guys. She started small with just doing yearbook design. And schools could design their yearbooks for free. That's pretty phenomenal. And they would order their print versions of their yearbooks through her company. So that's where they would pay for the print product. This product they called Fusion Yearbook. And then eventually Melanie developed her full concept and named it Canva, which is how canvas is pronounced in French. Now we're going to just fast forward. Her and her boyfriend, Clifford Obrecht, they're the co-founders of Canva, but neither one of them are programmers. And they eventually added Cameron Adams, and he's their programmer who got them started, their co-founder team of 3. Well, Melanie went out. It took her over a year pitching Canva this idea of what it was to over 100 investors before becoming a $400+ billion company. How about that? So that's where it comes from. And I have a quick poll to ask you. If you're watching the recording, of course, you will not see this poll, but I'm going to launch this right now. The question is, have you ever used Canva? Those who are live, you'll see this pop up on your screen. Quickly just enter your response. And the choices are, yeah, maybe you have used it because you have a free account. Maybe you went out and paid for it, or an Educator Pro account. That is something that's why I'm so excited that educators, we could have the full-blown pro level giving us premium features for free. And then I see we have over half of you don't have a Canva account yet. So never fear, I'm including, let me see how many of you I got in here, 7, 11, 12, 13. And looking for a few more votes and maybe our phone call. That is also adding an extra body. I think we're okay. I'm going to end the poll here. And we have a good idea that over half of those in this group don't have an account. So why don't we take care of that? I'd like you to get the goods from the start. So if you have never, ever gone to get a Canva account, the place to go would be canva.com/edu-signup. And if you're in this class right now live, look there where you can find your controls and you can exit the full screen so you can open another tab and browse out to that website. And if you're like, oh no, I can't do both of those things, listen to you as you go forward and try to sign up, that's okay. I have the screenshots here. So, and I will share this presentation with the recording when it is finished. What I have on the side are screenshots, and it says continue with Google. So when you are at the education website, I encourage you to click continue with Google. You're going to use your school Google account. So in step 2, it's going to ask you to choose your account. Sorry about that. Clicking on one side of my screen actually had me go back in my presentation. I'd like to go forward to step 3. it's explaining that with the education account, you'll be able to create engaging lessons, activities for students, and all we're going to do is move forward and click Get Started. They're going to ask you in step 4 to check your details. And I have a 4A in this asterisk because some folks might not even be prompted for completing these. If Canva detected your information, you may just slide right through and it'll automatically accept you. But what you may be prompted for will be your first, last, and school name. Once that's complete, you'll put in your school website. It is optional, but it might help because what they can do is look at the school website for teacher emails and confirm that your Google account, if your school is using Gmail, they may find it that easy. If not, they're going to have their bots do a little more work to find and verify that your Gmail account you're using is indeed educational. Next would be my step 4B. Confirm you're an active teacher. Prompted with this, you'll have the option to upload your teaching certificate or a letter with a school letterhead. Maybe that letter is just a statement from the superintendent or principal explaining, yes, you are gainfully employed by the school. And then you can upload and continue. And they will review your application. And it will let you know the outcome. You'll get an email in 48 hours. Step 4C is simply just, hey, what subjects do you teach? We want to tailor Canva so it shows you templates and ideas that would fit your subject. And it will also ask your grades. When those are submitted, you are finished. And I'm going to pause right there. Do I have any questions? I see one in my chat. So how do I know if I have a premium account? I don't remember when I signed up. Oh, that's great. Good question. I'm going to skip the slide just so I can go. It's going to take a few extra slides and I'll come back. But I want to answer that question right now. And I have a slide for it. Right here. So account types. If you have just a free basic account that's personal, at the top left, when you're signed in, it'll have your profile icon. It might indicate that it says free. And you're going to see this little crown everywhere. It's going to be saying, hey, try out Canva Pro. This one on the right, we see the same icon, we have a name, but it will say education right here, and the little crown to try the pro level will not be there. Another way is as you're navigating and you're trying to add elements, and that's what they call photos and graphics and audio files, they have that little crown symbol. So if it's just the free account and you see the crown icon next to images, that's a giveaway that you just have the free version. When you have the educational version, you'll see this graduation cap. So that hopefully answers the question out of our chat. That would be the difference. Now let me jump back a bit, and I apologize if this is a little, okay. So how do I use Canva? I could escape this anyhow, because I am going to go to a personal account. Now, you see the one way I'm using it right now. I'm presenting with Canva. If you are tired of the templates or always having to go out and find pretty and exciting new themes for your Google Slides presentation, then Canva's your answer. They have so many templates and you can do presentations here. Let me go ahead and look at my other projects. I actually started in 2018 with Canva. I got my account and it kind of sat for a couple of years, honestly. And this was what I made up. I didn't even use a template. It was really bland. I thought I was going to spend all this time comparing Google with Microsoft Office 365. Never came back to that project. It just sat. So I had this account since 2018. And what I want to do is show you in my personal account, that's really where my traffic is. So with my personal account, let me pull that in for you. I use Canva pretty often. And in February 2020 is when I really started using it. And that was even right before COVID. But I was the secretary for our parent group, and I was posting social media items for our Facebook page. Very easy to customize, throw in a graphic, change the colors, put in some text, and I was on a roll. So my main purpose is social media, but I also make print projects. And one is kind of funny. This was for a birthday last summer. And I didn't want to lock myself into buying a gift certificate ahead of time. So I made one out of Canva, just threw in a graphic from the website and threw it in an envelope and said, hey, we're going to do a one-day fun day, and that's your birthday gift. And that way, if the parent ever lost it, no big deal. But we went ahead and scheduled, and she was furiously looking all over the place for this piece of paper. And I said, oh my gosh, don't worry. It's not that important. I just made that up. So a fake gift certificate, but of course, award certificates is another idea. And one other, I wanted to show you one of the print products. So we had a fundraiser, and the small business was a local business. They didn't have anything in print. It was all just a website. So I was able to design a very well condensed, but very informative flyer. And those are the ways I use Canva. And some of you, we did have at least 6 of you who answered that you have Canva accounts. And I want to hear, if you don't mind posting them in the chat, ways that you use Canva. And that way you can share your ideas. So back to our presentation. I gave you examples of social media, print products, and actual educational presentation. That's just 3 ideas of what you could do with Canva. You can also do videos, posters. Look at that, Google Classroom header. And I know we have another class later this summer, and she'll talk about other ways to make banners, but think of that for Google Forms, for websites. You can make headers. And you're thinking, all right, what's so special about them? They are taking out the guesswork of what are those dimensions for that classroom header. Because there are a million ways you can make a header, but you need to know what the right size is. And Canva has already pre-selected that for you. Other print products like newsletters, flashcards, and you can even make a virtual Zoom background. Again, they are going to have those proper dimensions for you. And certificate here, as well as some other print products. You can print on your own, of course. And I'll show you how to download your items to do that. And I want to do a quick poll with you, because it's possible you get a PDF. And I just wanted to quickly get past our past poll. Let's do a new one. And the poll this time is a quick question to ask you. Have you ever wanted to edit a PDF? And I know when COVID came around and remote learning, we just were in dire straits on ways that people could interact with PDFs. But what about just getting a PDF from a book publisher, or from you pay for it, or you find it online free, but there's something you want to change? Oh goodness, we have landslide results here. So I keep dragging this in, and I'll share that with everybody, but I'm dragging it in for the recording purposes. Yeah, everybody wants to edit a PDF. So I will stop sharing that poll there, and pretty amazing. Let me share with you, because we're going to talk about PDFs here in a moment, but I want to share what I have from our chat, that we have a participant here who has used it for her classroom and school awards. And someone else wants to use it for certificates and social media, but doesn't have an account yet. But sure, those worksheets and flashcards, those would be awesome too. That's her comment. Another participant has used it at the end of the year for those certificates. Yeah, for teachers and students. So why not? Another participant, some simple worksheets, putting in shapes and arrows definitely is easier here than in Google. And another one uses it for her church event to post on social media. Oh, and you can make flyers for your family literacy night. So that was another idea. And we will get new ideas here from those of you who use this anytime. Just throw in a comment in our chat and we can all benefit from hearing what you've done. This PDF idea, this at the bottom of your option where you can create. There will be this import file. There's also this edit photo. So sometimes you just need to come in and edit a photo real quick. And probably the most common need would be to remove the background. You're trying to make your presentation very professional, but maybe the background is distracting or the images are overlapping. So they do have a background removal tool. And import file is where we would do this for PDF. And because of the landslide results in this poll, I'm going to exit here out of our presentation and go right into Canva. Now, some of you are logged in. Some maybe went ahead and multitasked and went off to create your own account. And if you are signed in, you can see the menus here are different than if somebody's not signed in. You'll see this education, and I do have a slide for that because I'll explain these steps. And if you forget them or if you weren't following along, then the next step would be to find a tutorial that will help you get through in how to do a PDF edit yourself. And that's where I'm heading. Is here in education, they have free teacher resources. So I'm logged in, education, free teacher resources. They have a vast library of getting started, and you can just choose teachers, school districts. And if I'm really uncertain where to start, why not find number one? Just get started as a teacher. There are little tutorials about how to search for templates or an element. Ooh, even cheat sheets. I'd love that. And what I like about this product is they're playing nice with Microsoft. So we can import and edit Word files and Google Slides. And we can even import and edit PowerPoints. Well, this is the one I'm after right here, how to import and edit PDF files. So I'll play through this. It's just 3 steps, and then I'll practice these steps. So go to Create a Design. That'll be at your top right. And then you scroll all the way down at the bottom to Import File. So that was in our presentation. Go find your PDF. That's the trick. I'm not assuming everybody has one, so it's okay. You can't follow with this right now. And then it's going to be part of your design collection. And you clicked it to edit. Oh, the text is editable, and you can add elements such as clip art. And watch this last one, because I may not be able to show you with the time we have, but look where they go next. adjust the style, more. So more is on the left and there's a little palette. And wow, it just takes over the whole document and changes it. So that's crazy. So when I want to go ahead and do this myself, I'll follow those 3 steps. Create a design. And this is where I got the screenshots for all the things you can make. I'm going to click Import File. I'll have to navigate on my computer to go find a flyer. Good thing I have one. I open my PDF. And it's loading. Having multiple tabs open. The sidebar is where I can start changing. These are different templates, but I would really want to change certain elements. So right now they're asking me for a little survey that I can close. And this is pretty small, so I can increase it for you. But this is a PDF. I did not make it. It was emailed to me, and I can click on every part of it. And you compare it always with the original. And when you have confirmed that it looks good, then you can edit. And over on the sidebar are the tools. And if I was looking for media, I have images in here already. I'll look for our logo. Where's my logo gone? Yep, I got a couple of them in there. I went a little crazy. So editable PDF, easy as that. So I was double clicking and got more copies than I needed. Any questions about editing a PDF? I want to be sure it was pretty clear on how you would get started and upload it. So it is time for us to practice. If you are in your own account, whether it's free or an educational account, we're going to just talk more about the navigation and particular tools. So when I come into Canva, I will typically land on the home page, and it will ask me, what would I like to design? I can simply search the word flashcards. How about this? Someone in our live group want to type in our chat something for me to design. How about if we come up oh, and I didn't, good point. How about saving that PDF? I really didn't finish that, did I? And I kind of just left the screen, right? It's just gone. Everything is auto saved. So if I just close that tab, never fear, it was okay, because down here, my document is automatically saved. And let me refresh the screen because I've uploaded that file twice now. I want to prove to you. See there, I was playing with the logo and it did come in. So everything auto saves. You can arrow back, or you can close the tab and you'll find your item in your recent designs or in your projects area. Sorry for not showing you the most important thing of saving. I take it for granted that so many things auto save now. Well, if I needed, here's a question from our chat, to revert to the original PDF, can we, and should we create a copy? So since you are bringing that from another source, that PDF was saved somewhere else. For my case, it was on my desktop. So the one you import here is really a copy already. Now, if you were going to throw away the original, then yeah, you might want to come into Canva, and then you would come here to these ellipses, the 3 dots, and then you can make a copy, especially if you're going to work with students and you want to always have a fresh template, and then you want to have a version that you start sharing out for them to get copies. So I don't have suggestions for what we should create. If I am here on the left sidebar, home had that search bar. I can just start going across the bottom. Here are some of those categories like presentations, videos, infographics, and there's more. How about I did start a Meet the Teacher letter. So this could be something I post on my classroom at the beginning of the school year, and it's one of their templates. If I don't like the color theme, I can start clicking the different pieces and color each one. Also, these little dots are a whole collection of colors themselves. Or remember down here when the PDF was opened, I can click styles and let's see, it'll color the entire thing all together. Now I have uploaded our logo. There's a way to do branding. So if you have your school colors, then I can just click from my logo. And now this is colored to match with TCCSA's logo colors. And I can tell you a little bit about that. So do each piece manually or come into the more and do the styles, which was very quick and easy. So that saved me a ton of time instead of individually coloring them. And now I can start typing, and I'll make this much bigger so you guys can see. There we are. My favorite subject. I don't know what netball is. That's curious. But maybe that's an Australian item. And it's very easy to click and edit. We'll see tools for text across the top. We also see that we can animate items and portions of our document. So if this was social media and I wanted a little attention, it could be animated or something could be moving on this to get people to glance at it a little bit longer than a quick 1 second look. On the left is where I can find my elements, such as just lines, other graphics. They have what they call stickers. So you can see these little animated items. If this was something I emailed out to parents. So as you see, when I drag and drop, and I'm going to zoom out a little, it just drops in whatever size its original file is. Now, if I do this differently, if I just try a drag and drop over another shape, let's see if we animate, it might not give me what I'm asking for. Let me try another image because it will auto fit. It all depends on how I choose to bring in my image. So I'll grab this photo and look at that. Drag and drop and it fits. But if I had double clicked, see, it just actually put it in twice because you only need to click once. But it didn't fit it. And if I was trying, it's easier when I have a template to just drag and drop instead of clicking and making it fit later. So Ms. Wilson is much younger. So templates will provide all the spaces for you. It's a matter of you coming up with what you want to put into it. On the left in the toolbar, we also have text choices. many heading choices, subheading, and body text. So we could see that this already uses some of those: heading, subheading, and body text. Then they also have nice font combinations that would go along, and we see the little graduation cap that this is an EDU account. And we could even search text if we wanted something different, like script, and it would show us all the different fonts available. Now that I have started to use a few things like styles, they appear on the toolbar. So it's dynamic. My toolbar on the left is starting to look different than yours will, unless you have also clicked styles. So if you are wanting to clean up and have this removed, you can just by hitting X. You can tie in your Bitmoji account, but let me tell you one issue. If you create your Bitmoji account through the Bitmoji app, it's not the same as the login for Snapchat. So here I'm even being blocked. Snapchat is blocked. Well, maybe it's not, it just took a while to load, but I don't have a Snapchat account. So if you do, then go ahead. You can log in and tie your Bitmoji right in, and now you can drag and drop Bitmojis instead of all the extra work of downloading an image and inserting it later. It'd be a direct connection. And this is another tool that I chose. And so it's been docked now on my toolbar. It's the Google Drive icon. And I have a direct connection to my Google Drive. That's very important because you likely have a lot of images waiting there for you. And let me go, because I believe, there we are. I have a little portion of our presentation talking about Google Drive. So I do recommend adding your Google Drive and how you would do that if I was wanting to upload images. For example, one way would be to click on the ellipses, and places I can get images would be from my computer or other places that I have them stored, but Google Drive is the one I'm here to connect. When you click connect, it's going to ask us to connect our account. We have to go choose our account, fine. We have to allow, if we trust that Canva can access our account. And then in that toolbar, you'll have that ability. I'll come back to our little project. When I'm clicking uploads, or if I'm looking for media, I can click Google Drive and it's the same list. And then from now on, it'll be docked right there on my toolbar. But if I've removed it, that's okay. I'm still connected. I can click upload, the ellipses, Google Drive, and I'm back. So it's easy to get back if it is gone for another reason. So I happen to have a Bitmoji saved for another reason, and there, I can go ahead and update my image and pull any graphic that I have. Templates. I really just started with one I already picked. And because I'm really playing around, and maybe you are too, then I'm able to see if another template will work. So if I replace the current page, let's see what happens. All right, totally wiped it out, right? No picture, my picture's gone. So be careful if you've started working, you might want to add a second page and then drag and drop items from the first page, because look at that, I just wiped out all that work, the theme I had picked, but it's easy to arrow and undo. Now, a question in our chat is if there's a spell check feature. Ooh, good question. So let me see here. Often spell check is all web-based I'm seeing anymore. At least that's my experience. So let's say if I And there we go. It's just built right in. We get that underlined red line. If a word, I'm shocked this one didn't detect. I don't know if F-hop is such a thing. There we are. So that would be your way to check your spelling. It's going to underline automatically. You won't have to run anything. And then I can right click, and this is based on my browser, honestly. This is the Chrome browser built-in spell checker, not really Canva. So what other templates? Because I started with a newsletter, it's also suggesting some others for me that are print type products. And if I want, I can go change the name of this up here in the title area. So I will call this my welcome back flyer. And just hitting enter or return on my keyboard will secure that title, and it's auto saved. We even see here all changes are saved, in case you're wondering, are they really? Now, I want to be sure I get to how to share things out and how you can work with your students. So I'm not going to show you all any more tools. I think you'll be able to get around fairly well. It is very easy to use, but elements that they have, uploads that you contribute, and your text are your big three tools that you will be using. And then all these buttons down below are just dynamic based on what you've recently chosen. Now, let's say I am done. This is ready to go out. I want to click on the share button at the top right. And you have multiple ways to share. If you would like, you can share it to another user who has a Canva account. You can collaborate as well. And you can give people a link. Now, I have chosen this. Anyone with the link can view. And I thought, oh, that's good. That's public. That's very similar to a Google Doc. So I'll copy that link. But let me quickly show you. And I do encourage you, if you're able to go incognito or to another browser, paste in that link. And I'm not signed into a Canva account at all. And I'm thinking, okay, this actually looks good. Surprisingly, and that is probably because I already tested this, there is the ability to make this view only link. So let me go back because that showed you the full document, but I know I just uploaded this one with all of you here during this recording. I'll hit share. All right, so now this is all default, only people added. Nah, I want to do anyone with the link can view. So there's no reason for them to have an account. They're just going to look at it and I can copy the link. Now I'll do that incognito again, since my first one was a flop. Paste the link and it's showing me the full thing as well. And there's 2 pages. But what I have seen, honestly, is that it will prompt me to log in and it will cut off the bottom edge. So still do testing by all means. There is the ability then here to get the view only link. That's the one I encourage you to send out if this was going through email to parents or out onto your web page. And you also have options to share through Google Classroom. So I can click Google Classroom and then I can continue. Now ask me what class in my Google Classroom. All right, I want it in my sample classroom. And what's this going to be? It is just an announcement. And when I choose that, it's opening a small window just as if I was in Google Classroom. And I can do all the tailoring I wanted in the world. And I just want this for one student. And I can post my announcement. And it's done. Now, if I want to view that, if you're familiar with Classroom, that's great. If you're from a school using Schoology or using Canvas, both of those integrate with Canva as well. So there are some tutorials under the education area for integrating other LMSs. So I wanted to get that out as well. If this was something I don't want to share, but I really need to just print, so I could pay for printing. They do offer those services, but I could just download. They'll suggest what I should choose. I can pick PDF for printing. My pages, everything looks good, and then it's just going to download. Then I can run it through my browser, PDF viewer, and then print at the copier, however I'd like. So these are our share options. To wrap up, how else, other than just using this for yourself, for your classroom, for your office, and maybe with parents, because I know we have secretaries and administrators with us today, as well as classroom teachers. I want to point out then, if we are using this with students, some very important information. So I will quickly present this. There's a little delay. If you have students under the age of 13, you should be getting permission. And I encourage teachers to read the terms of service and understand those. And they actually have a special area for education. There is a feature right there in your dashboard to connect your classroom. So what's it saying? Hey, it's right there. Make sure you have permission to invite those kiddos under 13. Now, does that mean, great, I'm stuck, I'm done? This is only if you're going to have the students create. They're going to create within your account and you are giving them the access, but we have to make sure we have proper parental permission. Some of our districts, they're putting it right into the student handbook that whenever they're getting permission to use Google Apps, there might be a short statement that says, and any other school approved applications. So make sure you head back to your district and let them know that you're using Canva. This can be pushed out to your entire Google domain so that individuals don't have to apply, and it'd be set up for all teachers. Then as you continue, let's say we are working with over 13s, you name yourself a class, and this is the name you will find in Canva. And then how do you get the students in? There's an invite link or there's an email. So this is one way to go about it. So invite link, email, or you can invite via Google Classroom. So Schoology and Canvas are not listed here in the invites, so you would use either the link or the email to those students. As you get started, you have to approve Canva to see that portion of your Google account for Classroom. You check the boxes and make sure you trust. Yes, we can click continue. And this is what the dashboard looks like once a class has been generated. And then you can start doing the invite link, invite code, or import your Google Classroom. If I was importing my classroom, it would pop up similar to me sending out that flyer, that newsletter I had. So I would check which class it goes to and click import. This is a second option where we can send invitations and we can put in class member names. So if I have Canvas or if I have Schoology, I can just put in their account and send invitations. Students, when they are invited to a class, they are going to get an email, and this Gmail message is reading that you're invited to a class. The teacher's name will be there, and they would click join class. They'd step through the same process you would as a teacher to allow Canva to access your to access your Google Drive and have permissions to allow you to edit. And once that is done, You will be part of the teacher's class as a student and can create on your own freely or work from templates that the teacher provides. And keep in mind that students under 13 still need that permission. I'm going to close with one last feature, and I touched on it earlier when I was talking about create a design. All these different choices, but here at the bottom was edit photo. So it's possible you just need a quick photo editor. And often removing the background is a really important item for teachers trying to make multiple images look good on a presentation or on a flyer. And when you have an image that has a background, that blocks you into that rectangular shape. Well, if you already have a design, you could use it, or I'm simply here going to practice editing photo. It opens a new tab. The photo is here, and now I'm ready to edit. When you click Edit Image, you'll see on the left anything that you've recently used. If that wasn't there, you would still have Background Remover at the top. You could also adjust some common brightness, contrast, and saturation of color, and other filters. They'll give you some tints, as well as some other, a little bit more creative filters. Now, I'm only interested in this background remover. Often in a program like Adobe Photoshop, you might have a nice, easy tool like a magnetic lasso. But these programs have gotten much smarter, and all I have to do is click. It will detect the edges and let me know if I'm happy with the results. Hey, look at that. That's pretty much what I was after. Then I can click apply. There are some tools though where I can additionally erase. So if I click here, it lets me adjust the size of my brush. So that circle in the center of the image is letting me know that's the size. If I want to zoom in and work on this photo a little better, I feel like I want to remove a little bit of the darkness there at the top of the fur. So I'll reduce my brush size. It will erase, and then I can just take little bites out. So sometimes a lasso isn't exactly, or a mask around here isn't exactly what you want. And you can still show the original image in that background in case you're curious how much was actually removed. Really nice and simple. You don't have to do all the manual work of going around the edges. And with an image with fur, that can be really difficult to get all those. If there's something you want to restore, or you don't want a perfect cutout of every part of this dog, then I can come in and I can restore a little bit more. And this was all tan down in here. And this can give a certain effect to my image too. And now if you notice, the brush has a much harder edge, but I can clean this up, make it look more bumpy like a cloud would, and it's letting me pick parts to restore. When I'm done, I click done, I apply my settings, and that's it. If I was to download this image and use it someplace else, I could copy, but I want to download and show you to keep that I have cut out the background. When I download, I'm going to check the box for transparent background. In case I'm using this in another program and I want that bumpy edge, I don't want a rectangular white background. And then I would click download. This would then download and go into my downloads folder for me to pick up and save someplace else. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this recording of Canva, and you can create professional designs in a lot less time using their templates and their layouts. The dimensions are pre-selected and they're easy to share with students download, print, and enjoy. So thanks for listening, and I hope you get a lot of use out of Canva.